Hello, friends. Andy here. I went from depressed and suicidal to living a life of abundance and joy. If I can do it, you sure as hell can too. It can be very easy in self improvement and working on goals and working on success to judge yourself compared to other people or to compare yourself to other people and feel like you fall short, especially with some of the stuff that we talk about on this channel, or maybe some of the things that I in my own life have achieved and get to enjoy now. Things like wild sexual orgies and threesomes and, having a loving partner, Imogen for the last 6.5 years. The girl that we've been dating for 2 years, Bronwyn, having her in our lives, having the financial freedom to be able to work whenever I want. You can look at all of these things and often feel a sense of lacking in yourself, comparing yourself to me or maybe some of the clients that I've had come through the coaching program and then, had on this channel. You look at what they've done and it can often make you feel a little bit like you're not good enough. And so, something I talk about a lot, I talk about this in my Play to Win video course, I talk about this in my content, is celebrating the little wins, the tiniest little victories that you have, the tiniest little baby steps of action that you take every day, celebrating those as if it was a massive big victory, because it is. When you're at the start of your journey and you haven't achieved a lot or you don't have a lot of success or you're, just getting started, the tiniest little step forward is literally as hard as doing something massive like having a threesome or making $20,000 in a month, in your business when you're a lot further along. The little baby steps that a lot of you are taking right now are equally worthy of celebration as the massive big wins. And so, with that, what we are going to do today is celebrate 3 people that have had, smaller victories that are every bit as worthy of celebration. 2 of these are YouTube comments, and one of them is someone from my coaching program. Let's start with this. Number 1. This guy left a comment. This is from a couple of weeks ago, but I screenshotted it. And he says, "It wasn't much, but it's 10 p.m. where I'm at, and I'm watching this video, so I had limited options." And the video that he's referring to, I basically said to everybody, leave a comment and celebrate your wins, even if it's the tiniest little victory. He goes on to say, "I keep on procrastinating, or I kept on procrastinating, and rereading some sections of the book, The Subtle Art of Not Giving a Fuck." Yeah, I like Mark Manson, so he's the author of that book. I like Mark Manson a lot. He wrote a book called Models, and the subline of that book is how to attract women through authenticity. And he literally wrote about like being honest. He was a big influence on me. Like he helped me. He, along with Good Looking Loser and Caleb Jones, helped me be honest in dating. So I have nothing but love for Mark Manson. He goes on to say, "As I know it's going to bring up some difficult emotions, so I read through a couple of pages that I had folded previously to look back and reflect on. This helped me process some of the emotions I'm dealing with at the moment and gave me a little more clarity. I shouldn't have even said this wasn't much. At the end of the day, it's a step in the right direction, a baby step, but a step nonetheless, and that's what matters." Yeah. And right now, like again, the way that progress happens is at the very start when you're taking baby steps. They are just small, tiny steps, and it doesn't seem like they change your whole world. It doesn't seem like anything magical is happening. It's not glamorous. You might not feel all that excited to share it with other people because, yeah, a lot of people will hear you saying, "I read a couple of pages of a book," and they'll be like, "Cool. Like, why are you telling me? Cool story, bro. I don't care." Now, in this community, if you share shit like this, we will celebrate. We will be like, "Holy fuck, that's amazing. Good job, dude. Fucking good job." Any therapist, like a psychologist or a counselor or something, will celebrate this shit because they understand that the way that self improvement works, or the way that healing works, or the way that therapy works, the way that building an awesome life is a series of baby steps. So people who are like in this world will get it. But yes, the average person probably doesn't give a fuck. They probably don't know. They're just going to say, "Great, you read some pages of a book and you're dealing with your emotions. Great. Like, why are you telling me? Come tell me when you've fucking read the entire book or something. Or come tell me when you've done something worth celebrating." Yes, that is how a lot of people will respond. They just don't know any better. They don't know that baby steps are important. But you have done something really amazing here. And anybody else who's doing something similar to this commenter, if you're processing your emotions or you're reading a book that can feel a bit challenging, You know, you read a couple of pages and it feels really heavy, or it's bringing up a lot of emotions. And then you sit there and go, holy fuck, I need to process all of this, you know, shit that you've bottled up or repressed for years. That is as worthy of celebration as if you'd made $1 million, or as if you'd fucking conquered the world or something, or done something, you know, amazing. Like, every little baby step that you take, especially at the start, is worth celebrating, especially because a lot of them are more difficult than doing the crazy big things sometimes. You just don't realize that. Like, think about how little effort it takes for me, Andy, to have a threesome. Like, it just happens every week or every 2 weeks. Like, it fucking happens. You know, we're dating Bronwyn, the girl that we've been dating for 2 years at this point. She comes over roughly every 2 weeks. We have a threesome. Like, I couldn't not have a threesome. It's easier for me to have a threesome than not have a threesome. I would have to say to her, like, hey, we don't want to have sex. We'd have to break up I'd have to, like, stop her. I'd be like, listen, bitch, stop. I don't want to call her a bitch. She's, like, the loveliest person ever. Listen, woman, I'm done with threesomes. No more threesomes. Like, I would have to put in effort to stop having threesomes. Same as making money. I have to put in effort to stop you guys coming to the coach. I would have to put in effort to stop you coming to the coaching program. I'd have to be like, hey guys, I'm closing the coaching program down. And then you guys would still pay for the Play to Win video course. So I'd have to be like, all right, like, I'm going to make that free, even though it's pay whatever you want. A lot of people pay $1, but I'm going to make that free. Like, I'd have to put in effort to stop making money and to stop having threesomes. And I say this because the further you get in your self-improvement, you've built all this, like, foundation and these habits that lead to success automatically. Like, you automatically start getting paid because you built a business that kind of handles itself. You still have to do work on it, but, like, you know how to do that work. It's just showing up every day and continuing to do that work. And now you're just focused on building, like, expanding. Or with sex, you've put in all the effort in your own self-improvement. You've made yourself look better. You've made yourself more comfortable talking to the opposite sex or the same sex if you're gay. And you've put in all this effort, and now you've built something, like, built a self-perpetuating sex life. And it doesn't take effort. Same with the social life. Same with, like, all of these different things. Going to the gym, like any goal or self-improvement project you might have, eventually you put it onto autopilot. It kind of just takes care of itself. And you're in, like, a flow state. You're not putting in any effort. It's just happening. You go to the gym because it would be fucking weird to not go to the gym because you've done it for years. Or you have sex or threesomes or, you know, your relationship with your partner because you've done that for years, and it would be fucking weird. Like, I'm not going to not see Imogen every day. It would be so weird for me not to see Imogen. Like, why would I not? It's a habit that we see each other. It's a habit that I tell her I'm grateful for her. It's a habit that we have cuddles and snuggles and intimacy and all that love. It's a habit that we spend time together. It's a habit that we have sex. It would be weird to not do those things. It's on autopilot. And so the only way that you get to that point of your goals and your success being on autopilot and happening automatically is by building the foundation with baby steps like this guy is. It is by doing shit like what this guy is doing here. Or it is by doing shit like, all right, I'm scared. I'm going to walk around outside and think about talking to women. I can't even do it yet. I'm too scared. I can't say hello to them. They're scary. Women are so scary. But I'm going to at least think about talking to them. I'm going to go outside for an hour today and just walk around and think about doing it. It is through doing those baby steps at the start that you eventually get to earn, and it is something you earn the automatic goals. Earn having that thing as a habit or on autopilot. You have to build the habit. And at the start, it's very, I won't say difficult, but there can be resistance to building a habit at the start because you're scared. And so right now, this guy reading a couple of pages of the book, when he feels all that resistance and that fear, that is, like, literally what leads to success. Even though it doesn't seem like it's something worth celebrating, it doesn't seem like it's going to change the world. It's not like this guy posted and said, guys, I just had fucking 20,000 threesomes and I made $1 billion and I have a Lamborghini now and everyone fucking loves me and I'm going to run for president of the United States and I'm probably going to fucking win because I'm killing it. Like, he didn't say that, but it's the little baby steps like this that lead to that point where you have all the success, the peace, the happiness, the love, and all of that stuff that I know a lot of you, or maybe all of you, are looking for. So it's with these baby steps. Remember, guys, I started out depressed and suicidal. I say it in the intro to a lot of my videos. And if you read my depression article or watch my depression video, you can just search for depression here on this YouTube channel and you'll hear me tell my story. At the start, when I was first overcoming depression with the help of my family, the help of a couple of therapists, and all of that, I literally had to start with baby steps. I was so depressed and suicidal. I had a big breakdown, finally admitted that I'd been depressed for like, 8 years, and I just wanted to fucking die. And all I could do was do the dishes every day. That was all I could do. My parents pushed me, thank God, they pushed me to just do some chores every day so that I could do something. And all I could do was do the dishes. And I would like cry into the sink, tears streaming down my face, crying into the sink for hours. It would take me like an hour to do the dishes because I wanted to die. I felt so much pain. I felt so much shame. I felt so much self-hatred. I felt so much anger towards the world. I just felt everything I'd been suppressing and bottling up for the last 8 years. And all I could do was the dishes. And that wasn't worth celebrating. It's just the fucking dishes, right? But my parents celebrated it. And they would come home and they would see that I'd done the dishes and they'd say, good job. This is really big. This is a really huge thing you've done. Good job. And slowly, as I got decent at doing the dishes and I built the habit so that it became autopilot, then they said, okay, vacuum the floor. And I would do that and the dishes every day. Okay, now mop the floors. Make sure they're nice and clean. Okay, I would do that. Okay, good. Now dry the dishes and put them away as well. Okay, I would do that. Okay, now start doing some of the laundry for the household. I lived with my parents when they were helping me move through all the depression. Do the laundry for us and yourself. So I would do that. And then from that point, okay, start writing out a resume and you're going to apply for a job, when you're ready, but you're going to start working on your resume. So I would do that every day as well. And then from that, when that was a habit, okay, now we're going to, even though you're scared and you're agoraphobic and all of that, although by that point I'd been going to therapy, so I was feeling a little bit better, quite a bit better. You're going to go and apply for some jobs. And I did that. And I got a job like a week later. Okay, now you're going to go to work every day. And now you're going to make friends. And then from there, I started really gaining confidence. And I was like, okay, fuck it. I'm going to go out clubbing because I, had so much agoraphobia and fear and social fear and no friends. I was like, what if I do the most batshit insane thing ever? And I go clubbing 6 nights a week or 5 nights a week by myself with no friends, completely alone. I was fucking terrified. It was like the scariest thing ever. But it ended up working out beautifully. I made some friends. I met bartenders. I met security. I talked to random strangers. I met drunk people. I met sober people. I met cool people. I met slightly less cool people. I ended up doing that for about 6 months, made a whole bunch of friends, had a social life, built all of that, then eventually moved to my new city, Melbourne. And then I started working on my sex and dating life. Well, I got into a relationship for a few years and that didn't work out. It worked out well enough, but we broke up. And then I ended up working on my sex and dating life, and the rest is history. And so all of that, everything I have ever achieved, everything you've ever heard me talk about on this channel came from doing the fucking dishes. This is why I am so passionate about people like this who talk about the baby steps that they've achieved and accomplished. This is why I celebrate all of your wins, and why when some of you beat yourselves up, which is a lot of you, and you say, I'm a pussy because I didn't talk to a girl today, or I'm a pussy because I didn't work on my business, I'm a pussy because I didn't do the gym. It's like, no, you're courageous for even trying, because I've been there. I've been at the very bottom. I've been at rock bottom. I felt like I wanted to fucking die. I went to prison. I've talked about this in videos. You can just search for prison on my channel. I went to prison when I was 19. You're not probably going to get less, lower than going to prison, being depressed, being suicidal, wanting to fucking die. You're probably not going to get lower than that, right? And so I've been there and I understand the power of baby steps and clawing your way up, out of the hole that you feel like you're in. And so if you're reading Mark Manson every day a little bit, or even just every couple of days, if you can't read it every day, that's amazing. If you're just reading a self-improvement book, or if you're just watching my content and going, yeah, I'm slowly trying to reprogram my mind to be a little bit more positive, amazing, guys and girls. That is such a fucking huge step forward, and I will celebrate that with as much energy, vigor, and excitement as if you'd done something insane like make $1 million. Because when you're at the start of your journey, reading a couple of pages of a book that's bringing up a lot of emotions for you is as challenging, is as worthy of celebration as doing something crazy like making $1 million. In fact, I would probably say, like I said, when you get to the later stages of your self-improvement journey, or you're more successful, you've achieved a few goals, at that point, it is literally easier to make $1 million If you already have a well-established business that's making money and growing slowly, it's easier to make $1 million at that point than it is to read a couple of pages of a book that's bringing up a lot of emotions for you that you've suppressed, because you probably don't have practice with this, with bringing up emotions. It's probably very scary and new. But if you're already a business owner who's already making money and already quite a far, amount of, like, you're quite far along in that journey, it's not that difficult to make $1 million. It's like, shut up and keep going. Like me, Andy, how am I going to make $1 million? I'm nowhere near that right now, but how am I going to do that? By just shutting the fuck up and working on this for the next 10 years. Like literally, I just think in my mind, if I keep doing this for 10 years, yeah, we'll make $1 million easy. Like every year, we've earned probably 50% more than we did the year before, And I've channeled that money into paying for Imogen's bills, paying for Cam's bills. I'm putting that money back into the business. So it's not like I'm taking that money home. I'm not rich by any means, but like we will be one day if I just keep going and doing what I'm doing. It doesn't take that much effort. It's like just have faith and keep making improvements and trust in the process and see that you're making progress every day, every week, every month, every year, and just keep doing it. Whereas for you who's like reading a book, or for any of you who are going through something very emotional and fear-based and difficult, like maybe you're going outside to start talking to women for the first time ever, or some of you women, maybe you're starting to practice being more assertive in the workplace or with your friends, or maybe you're making friends, or whatever it is that you're doing. This shit is more difficult for you guys and girls than it is for me to just slowly keep working on the business until I make $1 million, right? Not that $1 million is my goal right now, but like that is something I'd like one day. And so it's easier for me than it is for you. So let's celebrate the fucking victories. Not that it's a comparison game anyway. It doesn't matter if it's easier for me or more difficult for me or whatever. You're living your life, you're doing your journey. Let's celebrate that. All right. Second win. This is actually a two-parter. I got 2 comments to read out from this guy because he celebrated 2 wins. So this was from, like a week or so ago. I did a video where I said, hey, everyone, I'm going to gently call you all out. Write a comment down below celebrating some wins that you've had recently. I know a lot of you struggle to give yourself credit. You feel like what you're doing isn't good enough. You feel almost like embarrassed to share your little victories and your little baby steps because, like, I don't know, there's that like fear of judgment. So I'm calling all of you out. Just post a comment and share something that you've done and I'll celebrate it. So this guy wrote, damn, called me out. Okay, then here's my win. I recently talked to a girl on the street in a long while. I assume he means like for the first time in a long while. We had a pleasant chat. She wasn't interested, but we spent some great time together, and now she's rooting for me to find another girl. Maybe we won't even meet again, and maybe I wish to hook up with her too, but still, that's a win. Yeah, this is a fucking incredible win. Do you understand how fucking far along you are in terms of emotional maturity, and I guess you could almost say like self-improvement journey, to be at the point already where you're just grateful for the fact that you got to have a conversation with someone. You're just grateful for the time that you spent together. Like, look what you wrote here. She wasn't interested, but we spent some great time together. That is a fucking advanced thing to say. That's something that a lot of guys and girls, I guess, as well, don't say until they've been working on their goals for like 5 or 10 years. Like, that's a very emotionally mature way of phrasing it. It's like, you're not butthurt that you didn't sleep with her. You're not butthurt that you guys didn't date. You're just like, hey, we spent some great time together. I got something out of it. She got something out of it. Isn't that nice? We both won, even though I didn't get what I want. Holy shit, wow, it's possible to win even when I don't get the thing that I say that I want. Wow, I can be grateful and take joy, find joy in the little baby steps, the little baby victories. We had a great conversation. Isn't that cool? That's nice. And we ultimately weren't a match. Beautiful, amazing. I hope she finds the person that she wants to be with. And I hope I find the person that I want to be with, or multiple people if that's what you want. Beautiful. What a great conversation we had. What a great person. I'm glad I met her. And because you were of that mindset, because you're a positive person, you say here, we had a pleasant chat. She wasn't interested. Now she's rooting for me to find another girl. I talk about this so much, guys. I've done so much content on this about how women are actually really nice. This is probably the most relevant video. You can just search my channel for the word nice. And the video is called Women Are Actually Really Nice. And I talk about how, like, so many times, right, someone will come to my coaching program, or one of you guys in the comments, and you have all these fears around women. You're like, I'm scared to go and talk to them. I'm scared I don't know what to say. I'm scared they'll be mean to me. I'm scared they'll hurt me. I'm scared they will tell me that I'm a fucking loser, or that I'm a beta male, or, whatever all these labels and these things we're afraid of. Fear of judgment, right? And I will say to you guys, or I'll say to my coaching clients, I promise you women are really nice. The vast majority of them, let's say 97% of women, I made that number up, but let's say 97% of women are really fucking nice. They don't want to hurt your feelings. They want the world to be a happy, nice little place. They have their own emotions and sometimes they get caught up in those, but for the most part, they want other people to feel accepted and loved and looked after and all of that. And so when you walk up to women, if you are polite and nice yourself, if you walk up and say, hey, I thought you were really cute and I wanted to say, hey, you're relatively polite and nice, vast majority of them are going to be really nice back to you. And so I tell you guys this, and I tell my coaching clients this, but as I talked about in this video that I'm showing here on the screen, even when I tell you guys everything I just said there, that women are so nice and that they'll be nice to you, and I promise you they will encourage you. And if you hit on them, some of them, like maybe 1 in 50 of them, maybe a bit more than that, but roughly that, some of them will literally say, I'm not single, but good job hitting on me. I really wish men would do this more. Please go and hit on more women. I think this is really beautiful what you're doing. And you'll go, holy fuck, like what the hell? Like you're actually encouraging me to do this and you're making me feel good about doing this. Like about 1 in 50 will do that roughly, if you're polite and nice, And I tell all of you that, and I tell my clients that. And then fucking every 2 months, maybe every month, God, it's probably like once a month, someone will in the coaching group post and be like, Andy and everyone, I know you told me that women are nice, but you didn't tell me how nice they would be. I just hit on this woman and I was honest and upfront with her, and she literally made me feel like a king. And she wasn't available, but she said like, holy crap, thank you for being honest. Or, she was available and she said, wow, like, thank you for being so upfront and honest, and thank you for telling me I'm pretty, and thank you for being nice to me. Holy crap, yes, I'd love to go on a date with you. And Andy, you told me that women are nice, but you didn't tell, like, I didn't know that they were this nice. And I'm like, yeah, I told you guys they're this nice, but it's very different actually experiencing it rather than just listening to me say it. So I want to say it again, put the PSA out there. Women are really nice. And to any women that might be listening, especially any women who maybe have felt a little bit of pain in dating, or maybe you've got a little bit of baggage, and that's okay. Maybe you don't fully trust men, or you're worried that they're going to use you, or they're going to hurt you, or they just want sex. Men are pigs. Men just want one thing. Maybe you're a little bit in the mindset of like feminism, like particularly extreme like male hating feminism. And that's okay if you're at that point. Lots of men hate women, lots of women hate men. That's okay. Like we project outwards our own pain, basically. You've been hurt, you've gone through some stuff, and now you sort of blame the opposite gender. I did that for a couple of years myself, so no judgment there. But if you're a woman listening, men are really fucking nice. You can literally just change this word at the start of the video on the screen. Instead of women are actually really nice, just change it to men are really nice, or just change it to humans are actually really nice. Now, not every human, yes. There's people that start wars, there's people that are violent, there's people that are aggressive, there's people that rape. Obviously, we know that. But you're not hitting on those people. Or if you are, they show you their colors within half a second, like they won't be nice to you, and you'll be like, hey, that's okay. I'm going to go talk to the next person. You put them out of your mind. You don't even fucking remember them. All that you remember, if you choose to focus on it, are the really nice people, the people that add value to your life and you add value to their lives. And there are so many women out there like that. There are so many men out there like that. I have them in my fucking coaching group. Like the guys in my coaching group, and all of you men, most of you men listening to this right now are really fucking nice people. Same with any of you women listening. About 20% of the audience is female. You're all really fucking nice. Otherwise, you probably wouldn't be on a self-improvement channel with a guy that talks about love and peace and happiness and all that shit. You wouldn't be watching unless you're hate watching. In which case, if you're hate watching, here's a PSA to any of you that hate watch my content. Something funny happens with the way that the brain works with something called reinforcement learning. Be careful, don't be careful. If you watch a lot of my content and you're hate watching it, which I don't think I'm very hate watchable. I'm kind of boring because I'm just happy and peaceful. But if you're hate watching, understand that my content will rub off on you. Like if you just hear my message enough time, this is how brainwashing works. This is how propaganda works. Something repeated enough times eventually gets into your brain and your brain believes it. So be careful if you're hate watching my content, because we might just make a nice person out of you accidentally. So anyway, I don't think I have many hate watchers. And if I do, I have nothing but love for you. And if you don't want me to love you, well, that's okay, but you can't stop me from loving you. So yeah, back to this. Really amazing job, this guy, you know, talking to a girl, going outside and doing it, especially if you're feeling a little bit rusty or you're feeling a bit nervous or you haven't done it in a while. And look what happens. You know, a woman that you probably won't meet again, you probably won't have sex with, but it feels like you had a win. It feels like you both had a great conversation. And when you can see every single person that you hit on as adding to your life, rather than what a lot of people do, where they go, man, I didn't get laid, therefore I lost. She wasted my time. I wasted my own time. This sucks. I didn't win. It's like, no, 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 no. If you can look for the win and the victory in every single conversation that you have, every single interaction that you have, you know, whether it's in business, whether it's in dating, whether it's socializing and friends, whatever it is, if you can see every interaction that you have with other people as adding to your life, holy fuck, man, like life is absolutely beautiful. I talk about all of this in the Play to Win video course. There's a chapter called Everything That Happens to Me is Good. And I talk about how to find the victories in everything, even the stuff that you want to say is bad. You know, this bad thing happened to me. I got rejected. It's bad. It's like, no, 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 no. Take a couple of seconds and look for the victory, look for the win, find the win condition in getting rejected. You know, there is no rejection. They just didn't want what you're offering. But, you know, if you want to use the rejection, fine. Use the word rejection, fine. But look for the win condition in that supposed rejection. There's always a win there if you can look for it. Sometimes you have to dig hard. You know, this guy had to dig a little bit hard and say, well, you know, we had a pleasant chat and she's rooting for me to find another girl. Isn't that nice? So good fucking job to this guy. He then went on to say a follow-up comment like a week later. He says, Andy, by the way, just sharing my win with you to thank you again. I got 2 dates coming from online. I didn't get them from the Tinder guide, but rather I was still on Tinder and I direct messaged them on Instagram. So that's still all thanks to you. Amazing job, my friend. Look at this. This is a fucking huge victory. And to this guy, I would say a big part of the reason why these women are going on dates with you is your personality, your mindset, the fact that you're such a positive person. You know, I can tell from just a couple of comments from you that you have a beautiful way of looking at the world, that you have a beautiful way of looking at life, that you're seeing things as adding to your life instead of taking away from it. What I mean by that is, you know, a woman that you hit on doesn't want to sleep with you and you're like, yeah, but they're still added to my life. You have a mindset of gratitude. I don't know where you got it from, but like fucking beautiful that you have it. And that is fucking, or that makes you enigmatic. People want to be around the person that's happy, that's peaceful, that has a grateful mindset, because you'll be grateful for them. You'll literally say to them, hey, I appreciate this conversation. And they'll go, wow, I like this person. We like the person that says thank you. You know, every time you go to a restaurant and have a meal, if the meal's half decent, if you want to blow people's fucking minds, put in some extra effort, walk to wherever the kitchen is and just say to one of the wait staff, or sometimes you can talk to the chefs, like if it's an open kitchen, like a restaurant, you know, you can say to them, I really appreciate all the work that you've done. That food was fucking amazing. Try saying that to some chefs unprompted. You will blow their fucking mind. Like, don't wait for them to say, how was the food? And then you're like, it was amazing. And they're like, thank you. Like, that doesn't count. Say it unprompted. Like, say it to, like, get the waitress's attention. Like, wave to her, get her to come over and be like, this food is amazing. Can you please tell the chef? And like also you're doing such a good job of serving. Like, thank you for the love that you're putting into your job. I can see how much effort you're putting in. Say that and see what fucking happens. People's minds just go like you've blown their fucking mind. Try saying thank you to someone who never gets thanked. Like next time you're at, you know, in America at the DMV or something, or somewhere that people really don't like, you're at some government building, some like, you know, bureaucratic government place. Try saying to them, hey, by the way, I really appreciate the effort that you put in. I really appreciate that you've got a tough job to do, or it might seem like a tough job, and you're doing a really good job. And I just want to say thank you to you. Like, try saying that, and people's minds just go. Try saying it to a receptionist at a hotel or something. Try saying it to just some random fucking person that you see outside, some random person working a job. Try saying it to the person at Starbucks. Hey, I really appreciate how much effort you're putting in, by the way. I can see you doing a really good job. Like, thank you for having a beautiful smile and for taking my order and doing a good job. You'll just be like, their mind will blow. And so I can tell that this guy, you have this similar sort of mindset. Maybe you're not saying all this stuff to, you know, random strangers who work in a restaurant or wait staff or whatever. You can if you want to. But I can tell that you have a mindset of positivity and optimism, and people want to be around that person, Again, that person is enigmatic. It feels fucking good to be around someone who is positive, who has a beautiful mindset, who is optimistic and happy and nice to people. And so that will be contributing to these two women that want to go on a date with you. It'll be your fucking personality, man. It's one of the things that I think a lot of people ignore in like male self-improvement circles. Women understand personality, but in a lot of like male self-improvement circles, personality gets ignored. I covered it to death in my Tinder guide. If you look at my Tinder guide, part 5 of it, this part here, part 5 is retention, like seeing girls again, like for something ongoing. If you look at the table of contents, I have so much stuff in here on like personality. I talk about like having your shit together, have your own life going on, obviously. Be a decent person, like don't be a dick. Have a sense of humor. Or if you don't have a sense of humor, and I've talked about how to develop a sense of humor, but if you don't have a sense of humor, just don't take yourself like ultra seriously. Just be, forgiving, just be chill, just be kind, just be compassionate. That's something that you can work on. I literally have a whole section on being positive and not being negative. I talk about not being controlling or jealous. I talk about not creating or indulging in drama. I have a whole section on honesty. It was such a huge part of the Tinder guide, Be honest and tell her, like, I like you. I'd like to see you again. It doesn't even take anything. Just say that. Treat women like you're on the same team as you. You're on team humanity. It's not men versus women. Be honest about everything. If you're dating other women, like you're in an open relation, like you're non-monogamous, be upfront about that. Literally before you have sex, just say, hey, by the way, like I usually date more than one person at a time. Like I'm seeing some other people. You can see, whoever you want, do whatever you want. Like, is that something that you're fine with? Like, are you happy for me to see other people? And if not, that's okay. Like, we just won't meet up and we'll go separate ways. I talk about empathy and like understanding women. I talk about if you want to, you can mentor them, particularly if you're an older guy and you're dating younger women, mentor them, add to their lives. Tell them, tell me what did you get up to this week? Is there anything like you want to talk about? Like, I'll listen. You don't have to do an amazing job. Just fucking care about them. I talk about not manipulating and don't trick people. And even here, I talk about like, here's a really good question to ask yourself. Would you see you again? Like, are you worthy of respect? In other words, you can ask yourself the question, wait, if I was a girl, would I see myself again? Like, would I go on another date with me? Would I keep sleeping with me? Or am I like am I just expecting girls to do something that I wouldn't do myself? Like, do I like myself? If I don't like myself and if I don't respect myself, why the fuck should I expect the women to? That would be insane. So yeah, I talk about all of this in the Tinder guide. Like the personality has a huge part to do with like not only people sleeping with you, but people sticking around, maybe more so for people sticking around. If you haven't improved your personality, which is okay, it's just something you can improve. If you aren't a positive, open-minded, I guess you would almost say, not quite optimistic, but if you're not a positive person, if you're not happy and peaceful and loving and all of that, that's something that you can work on and will absolutely help you with dating and sex, as much as improving your physical appearance or anything else. I talk about all this in the Play to Win video course. You can just grab a copy of that. The whole video course is about like how I built a positive mindset essentially. And so that talks about this. But yeah, good job to this guy. Absolutely fucking amazing job, my man. Let's celebrate this huge victory. This is so fucking cool. And I replied to this comment already. And I said, I'm really happy for you. And I'm happy for these girls. Like they get to meet you. They get to hang out with you. Fucking maybe they got the victory. You didn't win, they did. They get to see you. So you guys are going to have a lot of fun together. And if you don't, that's okay too. But I suspect you are going to have a lot of fun together just based on the comments and stuff I've read from you. And then the third one is a victory from my coaching group. I celebrate all of the wins on this channel from coaching clients and stuff. And there's obviously been a lot of like really crazy victories that people have had coming through the coaching program. If you look on my channel, if you click on the playlist button on my YouTube channel, I have a whole testimonial playlist, I guess, interview playlist. It's just called Coaching Client Interviews. And I have like, I don't know how many are in here, 45 videos in here. And if you read or if you watch some of these, which, these tend to be my most popular videos, some of them. If you watch them, it can be very easy to compare yourself to these guys. Like this guy had an orgy, had sex with 3 women, found true happiness and peace. you know, this guy worked on being a better father. Wow, he gets to be a father. Oh my God, that's so far ahead of where I'm at. You know, this guy was a virgin at 27 and then he had sex with 8 women, including a stripper. Oh my God, I'm jealous. You know, this guy had a threesome. This guy had sex with 7 women. He built a business. He earned his first $500. He learned how to love himself. He learned honesty and authenticity. This guy had a BDSM threesome. This guy doubled his monthly income. He went from more than doubled, actually. He went from $20K to $45,000 a month. Oh my God, like, it can be so easy to feel jealous. You know what I mean? This guy learned BDSM, had a threesome, had sex with 7 women, lost 110 pounds. He didn't lose all that weight in the coaching program, but he lost a fair amount in the coaching program and the rest of it, like, before the program. This guy had sex with 10 women in 12 weeks. This guy had sex with 12 women in 12 weeks and a threesome, and he learned BDSM. This guy had sex within 5 minutes of meeting a woman. This guy had sex with 10. You know, you get the point. It's like, it's so easy to look at all of that and feel like you come up short. You know, you feel like, man, all these guys are doing all this crazy shit. You know, we've had a couple of women come through the program too, and they've done some pretty fucking amazing stuff. All these people are doing all of this amazing stuff. And here's me, you know, I'm not doing anything crazy, but I want to show this off because sometimes we will get someone come through the coaching program and they have maybe smaller goals or more humble goals, you might say. And this guy was absolutely one of those people. When he came to the coaching program, he was very, I don't know, I'd say almost depressed, but maybe more like apathetic. And I think he's in his 30s. You know, he doesn't feel like, or he didn't feel like life was going the way that he wanted. He was still living at home with his parents. He had no real social life, no friends, didn't have any sexual prospects, like no girlfriend, no women that he could talk to, didn't know how to talk to people, was feeling agoraphobic, as in fear of leaving the house and talking to strangers. You know, he hadn't really talked to anyone in weeks. He was feeling lost. And the first call I ever did with him, you know, I do a free call with people to make sure they're a good fit for the program and, you know, sign them up and all of that sort of stuff. Yeah, he just seemed really lost. And I was like to the point where he wasn't even ready to commit to the coaching program. You know, he was very hesitant. And I just gently said to him, like, you sound really lost, man. Like, would you like to join the coaching program? And he's like, I don't have any money. I don't have a job. You know, if I pay for it, it's going to have to be on a payment plan. And I was like, that's fine, man. Like, you can take a payment plan. That's why I offer them. But like, is this something that you want? And it took like it was a really long call. It was like an hour or so of him just going back and forth and like wanting the coaching program, but not just saying like, fuck yeah, man, let's do it. You know, I'll pay you. Let's fucking go, baby. Like he was in quite a, I don't know, lost place. And, you know, I just kept gently saying to him, like, do you want this? Like, if this is something you want, then yeah, I'd love to have you in the program. If you don't want this, then you don't have to sign up. But do you want this? And eventually he said, yeah, okay, fine, let's do it. I think I need this. I think I really want this. I think I want this. And I said, okay, let's set some goals. What goals do you have for the coaching program? Like, what do you want to achieve in your 12 weeks of coaching? What would be a great outcome for you? You know, think really big, dream really big. And he said, I have a degree in, I think it's like software engineering or something, but I don't have a job. I've never worked in that industry. I think what I want is to get a job in that industry and to get a paycheck and then maybe to move out of home. But I'll move out of home, that's fine. I know how to do that. I just need money to do that. And so I think what I want is just a job. And I said, great. Like, do you have any other goals? Like, do you want to have sex? Do you want a girlfriend? Like, do you want a relationship? Do you want friends? And he's like, maybe, but honestly, no. I think I want that stuff, but I would honestly be happy if all I got from the coaching was a job. Like then the coaching would have paid for it. So I pay off the coaching from that job and I'll be happy. I get to earn money for the rest of my life and I'll feel good about who I am as a person. I'll feel like I can contribute. And so that was all I ever worked on with him. That was all we ever worked on. Actually, that's not entirely true because we also did gently push him to go and talk to people, and he started talking to strangers. He was about us. He started talking to like at least 5 strangers a day, like literally just strangers, and he'd walk up to them and start a conversation, you know, worked on his social skills. He cycled across his entire country. He just like randomly one week was like, you know what, I think I want to get back into cycling. I'm going to cycle for like 10 hours a day or something insane for like 7 days in a row. And he was fucking sore after that. But holy shit, dude, this guy ended up being a badass. But I want to share this. You know, this is the final post that he made in the group before he finished up his coaching. because, yeah, this isn't some big, glamorous, amazing thing, but this is as equally beautiful as the people who have a whole lot of sex or make a whole lot of money or become the father that they always wanted to be for their children. Like any of this kind of shit, this is as worthy of celebration. So he says, I got my first paycheck from this new job a couple of days ago, which feels like a nice round end to my journey in this group. Thank you all for your guidance and influence along the way. I feel I now have a much sturdier foundation from which to build upon, as well as a newfound enthusiasm and a sense of ambition. Thank you again and so long. I'll be in the Discord if you ever want to get in contact. The Discord he's talking about is like the members only Discord that we have where everyone gets to stay in forever so they can all keep each other accountable. You basically get lifetime coaching essentially from signing up for the coaching program. But I want to make it very clear here what he says. You know, he has a newfound enthusiasm and sense of ambition, because if you guys could see what I saw when I first sat down with him, like I said, he was very like apathetic and like depressed and lost and not able to commit to something and not able to make a decision. Like he struggled to make a decision, and I wasn't going to force him to make a decision. I had to say lots of times, do you want this? You know, do you want the coaching? It's like, we're here to sign you up for the coaching program. You've already filled out the form. You've already told me you want coaching. Like, what are we talking about? Like, do you want to just do it? Are we doing it or not? I gently said that, you know, like probably 10 or 15 times. You know, like I said, it was like an hour or so that we were just sitting there. Normally, some of those calls go for like 10 minutes. You know, I jump on a call with someone, hey, like, you know, would you like to sign up for the coaching? And they're like, yeah, fuck yeah, let's do it, man. And I'm like, cool. Like, do you want to pay in full? Do you want a payment plan? Like, what do you want to do? Like, we just sign up immediately. You know, I've had some of those go for like literally 5 fucking minutes. It's basically just a formality to take the payment, to get it all set up and introduce them to the group and all of that. But he took a little while. And so to go from that to now having a job and a newfound enthusiasm and ambition, and we hooked him up with 2 accountability partners. So something that we do with everyone in the coaching program is we'll hook you guys up with an accountability partner. And he has 2 accountability partners. And then you push each other, like ideally for life, you become like fucking bros, or, you know, for the women, what's the female equivalent of a bro? A broette. You become a bro or a broette and you push each other. And so he's got 2, he actually has 2 of the fucking craziest accountability partners. Like that's one of the beautiful things about the group, about the coaching, is lots of people will push each other. And his 2 accountability partners, I've talked about one of his accountability partners on the YouTube channel before. It was the guy I did a video about recently. This video you can see here on the screen, in the middle of the screen. Extreme honesty, I want to exchange orgasms with you. I was talking about one of the coaching clients, and I'm going to get him on the channel in the next couple of weeks and do like a little interview with him, because he's just fucking extremely honest. He literally messages girls with like, hi, I'd like to exchange orgasms with you. He says a little bit more than that, but like he literally says, hey, I find you really attractive and sexy. Let's exchange orgasms. And then he talks a little bit about himself. That's his first message on Tinder and Hinge, and that works really well for him. He ended up meeting, I think, like 10 women or something, having sex with like 10 or so women in his time in the coaching program. Like, he's just ridiculously honest as me, maybe a little bit more so. Anyway, the reason I bring up that guy, the orgasms guy, that I want to exchange orgasms with you guy, is he's this guy's accountability partner. The guy that I'm showing on the screen, or the message that I'm showing on the screen, they're both accountability partners. And then they have a third guy who's equally as fucking badass. And so like these 3 people, holy fuck, they're going to push each other. And like, if this guy here, the guy I'm showing on the screen, if he got nothing out of coaching other than those 2 accountability partners, like if I just didn't even coach him, if we just didn't even coach him, we did like nothing, but he got to be accountability partners with those 2 people, holy fuck, they are going to like give him a sense of ambition and enthusiasm, because they're both doing amazing shit. And so, yeah, sometimes that will happen in the coaching group, is someone doesn't have a lot of ambition themselves, but other people will lift them up. And that's why I made the coaching program a group coaching program, because when it was me just doing one-on-one coaching by myself, which like you can still help someone, but like it's not the same as having like a whole bunch of people all working on their goals at once. I'm just one person. Like, I'm a decent coach, but I'm just like one fucking person. It's much better when you have a whole bunch of people pushing each other. Anyway, that's a side tangent. The point is, this guy has come an absolute long way, and I celebrate this. I share this and celebrate it because, again, it's worth celebrating these little victories. You know, this isn't a little victory. Yeah, it's not like fucking 20 orgasms in 20 orgies and a fucking 10 threesomes and $1 billion and all of that. But this guy was apathetic and depressed and really unhappy and feeling lost in life. And now he has a sense of enthusiasm and ambition. He got a job. He got his first paycheck. He cycled around the entire fucking country. He's talked to a whole bunch of strangers out on the street. He now feels comfortable walking up to strangers and talking to them. And he shared with us quite a few times. He's like, I feel like the world is my friend now. I feel like everybody in the world is nice to me. I feel like I can just talk to anyone that I want to, and I don't feel so alone. That's a huge thing. That is as big as having a whole bunch of orgies and threesomes or making $1 billion. Like, it's as beautiful. So, again, I want to celebrate all of these victories and tell all of you that you're doing an amazing job. Even if sometimes it feels like the things that you're celebrating aren't really that amazing, I promise that they are. Celebrate the little victories. Don't compare yourself to other people and going like, what I'm doing isn't good enough. What I'm doing isn't big enough or worth celebrating. It's like, no, fucking celebrate. And so with that, if you would like to, I would fucking love it. And most of us, all of us would love it if you left a comment below and shared some of your little wins. And maybe I'll read them out in a follow-up video. Like maybe I'll do a second video on this. Like, wouldn't that be nice? You get Andy talking about you and celebrating your wins, even if they just feel like baby steps. Like I read 2 pages of a book, or I went out for a walk and I thought about hitting on women. Or I did one approach and she wasn't single, but I'm at least glad I did it. You know, celebrate any victory. Even if you're depressed, you know, I was there. Like I said, all I could do was doing the dishes. If you're depressed, leave a comment and tell us one thing that you did. Like make your bed today and then leave a comment saying, I didn't want to, but I made my bed. And I guess at least now I have a nice bed. That's more than 0. Like fucking celebrate anything that you've done. I promise you, the tiniest little baby step forward is how you build a life of abundance and joy. You know, the only reason I can sit here and at the start of every video say, you know, I have a life of abundance and joy is because I took those tiny little baby steps and they added up over time. And as I say all the time, if I can do it, you sure as hell can too.